You're listening to the BIG Sci Fi Podcast, the biggest sci fi podcast in the galaxy, with Adina, Brian, Chris, and Steve. We're a part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and we're having more fun than ever celebrating our 10th season and 4 years of friendship talking all things science fiction. Calling all sci-fi fans, you're invited to the party. Let's have some fun.
Back on February the 21st, 2025, the Big Sci Fi Podcast reviewed a Western film with a science fiction style to it. It starred the last English actor to play the role of James Bond, that being Daniel Craig. The movie was Cowboys and Aliens, a movie that did not do particularly well at the theater, yet it's still a favorite of mine. Today, we are discussing a film that is part of the science fiction genre, yet has a Western film style undertone to it. This film starred the first, and as far as I'm concerned, the best English actor to play the role of James Bond, that is Sean Connery. The movie on today's docket is the 1981 film Outland. It was also not a theatrical success, costing $14 million to make and earning only about 17 plus million at the box office. Yet, it has done well, has done as other films like this, gaining a cult status in the nearly, 45 years since it was released. And so, for today's assignment, Moneypenny, we are here to discuss the film Outland, and let us do it shaken and not stirred. On the team, we have Adina.
Hey, everybody.
And Brian.
Hey, howdy ho, it's Brian.
I'm sorry.
What?
Heidi ho. And off to work we go.
Or Heidi ho, neighborinos.
Oh, there you go. Flanders. Sadly, Chris will not be able to be with us tonight, and I'm Steve, so let us begin. And without further ado, let us get into our discussion of the film Outland. Now, I saw this movie when it first came out. I went to the theater with my friend Grant Fozzie. We went to see it. I loved it when I saw it back in 1981. Now I have to pose the question to you two. When did you first see this film?
2 days
ago. The other day.
I thought so. I thought so.
Jinx.
Because when I
first started looking it up, it kept wanting to take me to a little film called Outlander.
Oh, yes.
So I had to be real specific in my typing into Google for my original search. But a couple days ago.
Very good.
Yeah, Outlander is a very different film.
No.
Very different show.
I would have been so confused if I'd...
It would have gone like, I don't know what you're talking about, Steve. There were no criminals in this. What are you talking about? But anyway. So what was your first or last impression of the film? What did you after I suggested it. I brought up it because it was a film that I knew about, and I suggested to you. So you may have looked into it a little bit before watching it, and then based on that, when you were done watching it, how did you feel about it?
So let me tell you, when you guys suggest a film or a show or something, I never look into it ahead of time. I don't want to know anything. I want to go into it cold. So now if I happen to know something, fine. But if I don't know anything and I didn't about this, I don't want to know. I just want to go into it cold. I don't want to see what it's supposed to be about. I don't want to read reviews. I don't look at the Wikipedia. I wait till I'm at least a good chunk of the way in to possibly then maybe like, okay, now I want to pop open an IMDb page or Wikipedia page. So I knew nothing going in.
I tend to be the same way. I might read like the quick IMDb, just quick synopsis, 2-3 sentence thing, but I'm typically don't dive into these too much. before watching them, like Adina, and maybe partway through I might look up if I notice something, an actor, I want to know their name, who's doing the music, which I'm very excited to talk about this
Mm-hmm.
for this film, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, typically I go into them pretty cold too, and because I like being surprised, I like the
Yeah.
idea of watching it as if it just came out in the box office. So
Yes. Yeah.
As they say, if you haven't seen it before, it's new to you. So, and which is the
Right.
case of this as well. So, having watched it, what was your first impressions of feeling about it when you were done watching it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you like the characters? Anything you want to share?
Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I thought I found this film intriguing in some ways, and a lot of that has to do with the music by the great Jerry Goldsmith. Who, in watching this, I was taken aback yet again by how he was a master of the ominous projection in his music. From the very start of this film, we could practically tell, and maybe this is a good thing, and maybe it was not for storytelling. I don't know. We'll get Adina's hot take on that. But I felt like we kind of knew some of the players right away based on the music within the first few minutes of this film. At the very least, we knew something weird was about to happen. And throughout the film, I think that his score just kind of projected that really well. I was surprised that Jerry Goldsmith did this movie. I'd never heard of this film. I thought I knew all of his films that he had composed. And so it was quite a treat watching it, even just for the soundtrack, Steve. And of course, Sean Connery, one of the all-time greats. He's one of those actors that can basically plays himself in every film, and we love it and dig it every single time. And so he's a type of actor that I love seeing win. I love his role in this film, going against all odds, raging against the machine to find the truth, to get just all that stuff. So from that, I love Sean Connery. So I love that. I love the music. It was too gruesome for my taste, so you guys are probably not shocked by this, and nor are our listeners, but too gruesome for me, but it was still, I was surprised by it. I really was. It was better than I anticipated it being. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably never watch it again, though. It's one of those films I might, however I rate it, it's not going to be one I'm probably going to go back to again, though.
But that's okay. That's
right.
the that's the thing. Just sometimes it's just having it once, tasting it, enjoying it, or finding it wasn't to your liking, whatever the case may be. But at least give it a try. So now we move over to go ahead.
Well, let me continue a thought, because along those lines, I think we talk about this a lot, about a film can be fantastic. It can be superb. It can maybe even be considered one of the greatest films of all time. That doesn't mean we're necessarily going to want to watch it over and over and over again.
Right.
There are way lesser films that don't win Academy Awards. Films maybe that nowadays don't even rate very high on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it is, but we go back to those over and over because there's something in it that we do love, that deeply entertains us, that we connect with. And I just recently did a rewatch of one of my all-time favorite films, starring the great Kirk Douglas, Spartacus.
Oh my
which
gosh.
has Laurence Olivier. It's got Tony Curtis. It's got A-list actors of its day, superb in every way. It's 4 hours long. I've watched that thing probably 50 times throughout my life. And it's a super long movie, but I connect with it. There's stuff in it that I really just dig. And so there's stuff like, I dig Sean Connery. I'd super Jerry Goldsmith is one of my musical heroes. But here's another case where I can say, this film was okay, but I'm probably not going to watch it again.
That's fine.
It doesn't mean those that love it or find it to be really good are wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Adina?
So,
Go
oh my gosh. I have a confession to make.
ahead.
Confession time. I didn't finish this movie.
Oh, really?
I couldn't. So, okay. It is not unusual because sometimes I watch movies in the evening. It is not unusual for the podcast, especially. I watch the first half one day and then I watch the second half another day. I couldn't get myself to come back and watch the second half the next day. I tried. I just couldn't do it. I did not enjoy this, and so much
Interesting.
did not enjoy it. I don't think this is a science fiction film.
No, it's a Western.
But it's called it. So then
Interesting.
eventually I went and looked at the Wikipedia page and they're calling it a sci-fi thriller. This is not a sci-fi. Yes, they say, and again, yes, they go into the whole it was intended to be a Western space. Sure. It's like I felt like I was watching like kind of like a Law and Order episode and not a good one. Because it's really about this
interesting.
mystery of why are these guys going like having this psychosis, and it's just like a drug story. So the fact that it happens to be in a science fiction setting is completely irrelevant. It could have been anywhere. And that's the thing is that I didn't find any of it compelling because I feel like that trope of, everyone's getting drugged. As everyone on drugs, we got to go find the drug lord. Okay, whatever. It was totally not engaging for me. And nothing about it. There's just the fact that they're set on Io, this moon of Jupiter. That is not enough science fiction. That is not science fiction. It's just the setting. It is all it was is a setting. Nothing about this was science fiction. It was fiction, not science fiction. So I did not. And again, I enjoy movies that are not science fiction. This was
Right.
I'm sorry. So I couldn't get myself to watch the second half because I don't think I missed it. I don't feel like I missed anything. You know what's going to happen. They're going to catch the bad guy. Whoop-de-doo. The bad guy's not an alien. He's not a robot. There's no science fiction element here in the story.
Yeah, I think that was something that I was struggling with too, Adina, is going, when is this going to feel that way? I wasn't putting that language to it. I felt what gave me, let me start again. How I gave this film leeway with this story is, who was the president in 81?
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Yes.
Reagan, who had a war against drugs, right? So this film probably resonated very well with its audience of its time. Well, at least the message of it, that's probably part of what they
I'm making a face because
happen.
I think 81 was before that, like that war on drugs started.
Okay.
Because I feel like Nancy Reagan was kind of the champion of a lot of that, and I feel like that was a little later.
Just say no to drugs.
That's right.
Yeah,
You could
that
be
was
right. You could be right. So the drug issue was at the forefront of the consciousness of the American people.
Yeah. So they said it they said it on IO. Okay.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Well, because the thing is, okay, now you take a social issue. Okay, so they're taking a social issue and they want to couch it in science fiction. They didn't do that, right? Star Trek did that all the time successfully. And it's I think one of the reasons why Star Trek is because again, I went back, what I was feeling bad about my confession about not watching this whole movie is because I think this is like, I'm now on a string of, I have not been enjoying some of the older movies and I feel bad because is it like, what is it about? Is there something about older movies? And I'm like, no, there are plenty of older movies from this era that I completely love and can watch again. So what's going on here? And I think though, when you look at the original Star Trek, right, they're taking social issues, but they are making it science fiction. They're taking it and they're bringing in these other science fiction elements and couching it in that way. So they're not they're not lifting and shifting into a science fiction setting. They're truly transforming the issue to make it a science fiction thing. So like, let this be your last battlefield, the racial issue, they had all kinds of things, but then they actually bring in science fiction elements. And I think if they wanted to, if their greater purpose, now again, on the Wikipedia page, they talk about the greater purpose was to have a Western in space, which I'm not even sure that this was even that. I don't know. But if there was, like, let's say, an undertone of, we want to talk about this social issue of the pervasiveness of drugs and it's getting everywhere and all that stuff, and we want to bring that. I think there are other, well, okay. What was that? Symbiosis. Star Trek Next Generation season 1, Symbiosis. When you have this planet A is hooked on drugs because of planet B.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
There. Now you're taking a social issue and kind of doing interesting things with it. They did nothing like that here. Nothing.
So you weren't satisfied that it was basically just the. I think what she's saying, Steve, you're not a fan of westerns, are you?
I don't.
Or is
Westerns
it
are
more
fun.
that you were turned off?
It's more that
not,
I wanted a science fiction movie.
gotcha,
This was not a science fiction movie. This was a movie that could have taken place anywhere at any time. The exact same movie. Like, they didn't just, if all they did was change the setting, they could have had the pretty much exact same movie. And that's what's bothering me.
Okay.
Gotcha.
See, in my case, the setting was, and one of Brian's favorite films, I believe, is High Noon. The concept of one sheriff or one marshal not getting the support of the community and having to deal with outlaws, and in the end getting the help of, in High Noon, it was his wife who stands up for him. In this film, it's the doctor who stands up for him, and he's able to defeat the killers that have been hired, the hired guns that come to town to get him, and he is successful in defeating them and catching the bad guy, in the case of Peter Boyle's character. So that's where, I don't know, if you'd seen the whole movie, Adina, you may have seen that conclusion, but I see the face you're making. I like it.
I'm making a face. I'm sorry. I can't hide my face.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And that. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Steve, you seem a little surprised that we're not absolutely glowing about this movie, and I feel bad about.
No,
Okay.
I even gave you kind of a heads up that this is definitely not a movie that you'd have the kids around while you're watching it, because yes, I knew of the level of violence, and again, we have reviewed films like Alien that had a level of violence in it, but even that was not to the degree of this in that level. But again, there's become, you're going to push the level if you can, and it was rated R for a specific reason, and it was done because of the level of violence that was in it. But I think that was, in the old westerns, you didn't have that level of violence, but you still had the shooting and the killing and so on and so forth. You just didn't have the graphic nature of it. So,
I do think it's interesting, Steve. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
I didn't read anything about this movie except that some people say this is one of Sean Connery's brightest moments, like that it's one of his best moments in film. And I could see that to a degree, I think. Again, I feel Sean Connery is very much, you get Sean Connery because you want his voice, you want his very unique face and presence on the screen for every role he's played. But the whole Western thing is intriguing to me because, like you say, High Noon is one of my favorite. Magnificent Seven is another favorite Western. I happen to be a lover of Western films. And I think that is interesting, and I can see it now that you say that. I didn't really put that together, but maybe that's why, for me, without putting that language that this was a Western in space, made me feel I was, like Adina, very much struggling with the sci-fi-ness of this. And so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but at the same time trying to enjoy Sean Connery. Certainly enjoying Goldsmith's thing, and Peter Boyle's too. Like, come on, one of the all-time greats there. So,
and I mean, also the actress Frances Sternhagen. I love her. I've seen her in other films, she always plays that very brassy, hard edge type of person. And that's what I like about her. And she comes through
was
in
the
that.
one character I liked, and partly because I've seen her, but now I am super confused because
Yeah.
while you guys were talking, I was looking because I wanted to get to her character because I
Mm-hmm.
love her.
Mm-hmm.
I swore to myself, I was like, oh, she's the woman in Silo, the shut-in woman. Which now that I'm like trying to look her up, I'm looking up the thing on Silo. I'm having a hard time remembering the character's name and the actress, but it's not her because she's 93 years old in real life, and I'm
Oh,
like, okay,
yeah.
that's not her. So who's the woman I'm thinking of in Silo? But I'm also super confused because I would have paid any amount of money. I would have bet any amount of money that
Oh.
that was her. Who in Silo, I love that character because there's something about an older
The
woman being really like ballsy, excuse my term,
mm-hmm,
ish,
mm-hmm.
that I love. And I'm now really
I'm
I'm
looking
so
at
confused.
it's the
Interesting.
woman who plays the woman who can fix everything. She's
Right. What's the
it,
character's name? Now I'm
I'm
like,
looking it up myself. I'm trying to see if I can find it, who she is. But she plays and it's funny because in the book it's a man. It's not a
right,
woman.
right.
Yeah.
She's a person that Juliet goes and lives with.
Right.
Right. And now I'm like, I'm looking at the Silo page and I can't I'm blanking on the
I'm
name of the
looking
character.
I
I
am
don't know
looking
the
as
name of the
well.
actress. So but I would have
Mm-hmm.
sworn that it was that woman,
Mm-hmm.
Frances Sternhagen, but
Right.
it's not. But
But
it's
she
like a
plays the
dead
same type
ringer.
of character.
And yes,
Yeah.
same type of character, but I swear the face looked like exactly the face too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so confused. This is gonna bother me until I figure this out. I'm sorry.
No, they're
Not
both
sorry.
Steve, for our listening audience, both Steve and Adina are busy on their devices looking this information
We
up.
are.
I, Brian Donahue from Ohio, uh, am sitting here looking into the screen
All
doing
right, now I'm
nothing.
back
Just
because it
speaking.
says here the older woman who was the mechanic and Juliet's mentor in Apple TV was Martha Walker, and she is played by acclaimed British actress Harriet Walter.
Okay, that doesn't look like. Oh my gosh, it does. So okay, so if you go to her IMDb,
Mm-hmm.
if you go to Harriet Walters' IMDb
Mm-hmm.
page, I mean, like, and it's the hair. I think doesn't look
Uh-huh.
anything to me. It's like, wow, this is like night and day. Doesn't look anything like her. But
Mm-hmm.
I obviously believe these pages on the internet. I don't believe everything on the internet that I read, but I do believe this. Wow, she is though as the character. She's a dead ringer for this
Mm-hmm.
Francis lady, and either of
Yeah.
them. So I love them both.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I am,
Well, that's
I would have, again, if you had said, Adina, can I bet you money that that person is not the same
yeah.
person from Silo? I've been like, no, that of course is the
Mm-hmm.
same person from Silo. Here's my paycheck.
Yeah,
And I would have lost it.
no, because I'm looking at her picture and I see the face, as you say, but the hair is dark. It's not gray.
Yeah.
She's not haggard looking like she
Wow.
was from that. Yeah. But yeah, and again, that's one of the characters from this movie that's very redeeming is the doctor.
Yes. Yes.
And she is the only one. If you had seen the rest of the film, you were seeing that she was the only one who came to his aid
Okay.
and allowed him to be successful in defeating the hired guns that came to town. And she's good. She is good in this film,
Good.
and that's.
I'm glad.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you'll think maybe I'll just fast forward it through the end just to go see the sequences where she's in it. Maybe you want to do that just for
Eh.
I give up. Let's.
Eh.
Well, this has been a great episode, Steve.
Good night, folks, and drive safely home. There you
But I'm
go.
like looking up, like, is it possible that this Harriet Walter, that Frances is her mother? No.
Mm-hmm.
I just checked because of like, is that possible?
Different names.
No.
Right.
Different names.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can have different names in
Not
in
that,
Hollywood.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
that happens all the time. Carrie Fisher does not have the same name as her mother.
Nope. But
right.
is the daughter? Yeah.
Right.
Very
So,
interesting.
Brian, you kept bringing up a good point about this film, and that is it is the music of Jerry Goldsmith.
Mm-hmm.
And from the opening moments of this, you go, All right. So he did score Alien a few years earlier because the film sound has a very alien style to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it works in both films very, very well.
I agree. I do think that if there is any, besides the outer space gimmick in being on the planet, on the moon of Saturn, I
No,
think
Moon
Jerry
of Jupiter.
Gold's
Get
Moon
it
of
right.
Jupiter. Sorry.
See, the science person here
My
is a science person.
My apologies to you, Jupiter. Which planet
Tyson.
is it again?
Not a planet.
Right. Anyways, so Jerry Goldsmith's score is very science fiction-y sounding. Like it is the best, in my opinion, one of the better parts of this film. I'm going to look up the soundtrack on Spotify and listen to it and see how it holds up without any moving pictures and talkie-talkie with it, you know? So yeah, I agree. I mean, he's the king of ominous. He's the king of projection. He's the king of recurring themes. And there are other people really good at it too. But I just think Jerry Goldsmith just gives you just enough. And I just remember when I realized it was him very early on, because that's the first thing I looked up, because I missed the credit in the opening credits. I missed his name, but I had a suspicion. And so I looked it up and I'm like, yep, I knew it. And it intrigued me and I loved it. And to me, that's one of the shining stars of this film.
I agree. And I think so. And again, even a lot of the elements in the film and the look of it did have the alien touch to it. The you know, you could see the way that the sequences with the guardrails, the running through the building, the mechanics, things like that. I thought, oh, they must have reused some of the sets from Alien, and Wikipedia says no.
I'll tell you one thing. The feeling I got, Steve, as far as sets go, since we're here in design, is, I would call it reminiscent of Aliens just because of the dark lighting and that kind of thing, which adds, I know I'm using the word a lot this episode, but it adds an ominous feeling to it. You know, it adds.
But there were no aliens. No aliens showed up.
So. Anyways, Dina.
Sorry.
I just think that what bothered me, one thing that bothered me about this film when it comes to sets, is I get the alien connection you're making, but also I felt like it reminded me of like one huge gigantic submarine. Everything. All the sets, most of them, except for the quarters were spacious enough. But I felt like all the crew that were bedding when they were having these action scenes running through and he's chasing guys, like very tight quarters, like in a submarine. And so to me, that kind of bothered me a little bit. It made some of the action sequences a little bit cumbersome, actually. For me. But again, like I'm rooting for Sean Connery, right? I'm like, get him, you know? So like, I think it's the film's successful that way. You want Sean Connery to get his man, right? You want him to figure it all out and you want justice to come through. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about those things. And I agree with you. And I don't think any movie can be perfect. And we're going to find, again,
except for Star Trek First Contact. That's
I was going to say, except for Star Trek 4.
Here we go again, folks.
But no, the point being is, yes, movies can be perfect. There.
Yeah.
It is possible.
But then again, they can be truly terrible and still have, Battle Beyond the Stars, which we did recently. That was,
truly terrible.
Truly terrible, but... You made it through it, Adina. You made it all the way through it. And I give you credit for that. Okay. And you watched all the way through Moonfall and you endured that. So I thought, well, maybe
I'm getting less tolerant in my older age.
Maybe. Like,
I don't want to believe that. I refuse to believe that.
You're not one of the people who you go to the restaurant and halfway through the meal you go, this is terrible, get rid of it. You know.
I have never done that.
They have never done that.
I
Good.
can say I've never done that.
All right.
Neither.
All right. Well, what else can we talk about in this film? I don't know. It's a little hard now because
Sorry.
we're gonna, you know what they're gonna call this episode? 2.5 viewings.
Steve, Adina, I have a confession.
What is?
Yes.
I only watched half of this movie too.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God.
Really?
I was really embarrassed. I was like telling my wife, but just an hour ago, like I couldn't get through it. This is the first film we've ever watched. And I was
sorry,
like,
folks.
I just can't. It's not your fault, Steve. I totally get why you picked this film. It's freaking Sean Connery.
I know.
Yeah, and that's right. It's not that I didn't try. I feel like I tried.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna be the dullest person on this episode, and Adina has been the dullest person on this episode. So.
I think I've been a delight. I think I've been very
so,
upbeat and engaging, considering I only watched half of the movie.
So, Steve, I feel like I need to say this to you, my friend. It is with the utmost respect that I couldn't work my way through this film all the way.
Well, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It was tough. It was really tough. And,
interesting.
And honestly,
you missed it too. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I kind of like. I think one of the things about this film, and Adina has touched on it too, is you kind of figured in the end he was going to get the man. He was going to win.
Of course he had to. He's Sean Connery.
Right. And so I think from that point of view, that's one thing that this film, you have no doubt what's going to happen.
Interesting.
And so I think that is something that the filmmaker did not do well to give us some, although I say that though, as a Western fan, this is a classic Western story where that happens in a lot of different genres of storytelling though, where you go, there's no way they're killing this guy off. Of course he's going to get the girl at the end of the film, or of course he's going to get, you know what I mean? I just hope Steve comes back for our next episode of Dina, that we haven't hurt his feelings. So
I'm just hoping that next time you or I recommend a film that we're gonna watch, that Steve doesn't just to retaliate, cut off.
No.
I know
he's
Steve
not a
wouldn't
retaliatory guy.
Yes, I know.
The only one I refused to watch that we reviewed was Moonfall, only because it was going to cost me $20. And after I had seen the information about it, I said I was not going to spend $20.
I forgot
on
you
this
did
movie.
That. I feel way better about my decision.
No, I refused to spend the money on that. But then again, when I could see it for free, I watched it.
Right.
So, again.
By the way, I do have to give a shout out because my half viewing of this was sponsored by my ex-husband accidentally.
Oh.
So a shout out.
See,
I'm going to need this to be explained.
Okay. Well, when he was at my house with our kids when I was out of town and logged into Amazon Prime, because we watched this on Amazon Prime. So when I went to log into I brought up Amazon Prime on my Roku, and I thought something looked a little weird, but still had my name there as one of the profiles.
Oh, interesting.
So I went to it. I bought the movie or rented the movie. And then 20 minutes in, I get a text. He's like, did you just rent a movie or did my account get hacked? But he had left himself logged in at our house. So gotcha. I said I would give a shout out to my ex-husband, Greg, say thank you for sponsoring. And I'm sorry that I wasted half of the $3 by not completing the movie.
Oh, dear.
Yep. Yep. But the thing is,
So,
you
Steve.
had in your
Oh, go ahead.
questions, because we prepare some questions to talk about, you did have this one about what would you have changed in the film if you could do that. And so I have been thinking about, well, what could have been different to kind of set up to do something better so we didn't it didn't lose us. And I think if the mystery aspect of it was had again, this is similar to what I was saying a few minutes ago, but had more of a science fiction element to it, where it's like I don't necessarily know all that's going to happen. So yes, we might presume that things are going to work out at the end, that he'll get the bad guy. But if there's some other twist that injected some kind of science fiction element, like maybe there's something to, so this drug. Maybe it's all about something like there was some alien cache that they found that they're mining. Yes, they're supposed to be mining titanium, but they found this.
Right.
And that's part of if there was some draw there that isn't necessarily clear, that might lead us down an interesting twist or turn that would actually bring in a real science fiction element. That could have been it. And also the thing that was also bothersome from the very beginning. Now, at the very, very beginning opening scene, they do an info dump, which happens sometimes, especially in science fiction, because you do some of this world building. And it's very hard to do that. So they chose to, on the screen, give some details, just kind of print out some details. Just tell you where they are, how many people are there, what it's like on EO. And that's okay. But then they go to this scene with Sean Connery and the wife character and the kid character. And then the next scene, and it makes it seem like they've been there for a while and been established for a while. And then the next scene is he's having his first meeting with his coworkers. Or it's like, wait, they just got here. So right off the bat, some of that cadence was already messing up right from the beginning.
Okay.
So already I'm kind of like, okay, I don't know about this. And then when the wife leaves Sean Connery, and in her note, that's where she says, hey, it's not just here in IO, it's been like this for a while. And it's like, oh, okay, well then that makes a little bit more sense.
Right, that she's been enduring
so there's a bunch of things
jobs,
that I feel like some little tweaks might have made it a little bit more engaging from the beginning. I don't know.
So Steve, I do have a question. Does he get his wife and son back?
Yes, he does. Because at the end,
that's nice.
At the end, after he has defeated the bad guys that are on the noon train coming in the case, the noon shuttle. He defeats the bad guys with the help of the doctor. He decides that he's going to resign his post, meet his wife at the space station, and head back to Earth, where his son has never seen or lived on the planet Earth. So he does get back together with his wife at the end. That's the conclusion.
And that could have been another element that they could have pulled on that would have been a science fiction-y interesting thing. So now you're having kids born away from Earth. Okay, that could have been something to really pull on, or really make not a side thing, but a little bit more tie into the story, and maybe even give him some motivation, because he doesn't seem to, at least up through the first half of the movie, okay, yes, the mom is interested, because she says it in her Dear John note that she's taking him, he's never been to Earth. But Sean Connery's character doesn't seem to care.
No,
if that could have been part of the plot, right? Maybe he always cared about that. Maybe that was always his goal, but he kept getting prevented. So maybe he's one is like, hey, look, we have an opportunity. You guys got to get away. I will join you later. So you guys go. I'm going to join you later. And something there's so many opportunities. So here's what I'll say. Here's the good thing. A lot of missed opportunities. There were opportunities. They just didn't take them.
In a sense that you guys aren't completely out of the loop, considering, again, that the movie barely made production costs. So it was not received very well at the theater. It is, again, because of nostalgia for Sean Connery as an actor and his body of work, and has been in countless other films and so on. That his, it's picked it up, and maybe again looking at a revival of 70s and 80s and 90s movies, that this is one that's being re-looked at one more time. It's just come back.
Yeah, I read some stuff saying that there are people finding it new, and especially Sean Connery fans discovering a new film they didn't know he was in. Is kind of fun, and it does have a little bit of a cult following. I don't know if it's huge like other films that have those type of followings, but I think that people are still paying attention to this from what I read, Steve, and so that was interesting. And I think also, like, you got the Peter Boyle connection too there. I think there are Peter Boyle fans, especially if they're Everybody Loves Raymond fans, or what was it, Son of Frankenstein or whatever?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. I think there are people probably that will watch this film to see him so young too. So the effects were fine. The outer space stuff was fine. It doesn't. I think the film. I did read this, Steve, and I think I agree with it from the first half of the film that I saw. From a visual point of view, even though I didn't like how boxy it felt and how tight, it looked like a submarine throughout, I felt like I saw some reviewers say this film still holds up visually, like it's still kind of it's watchable from that point of view. And I think Adina kind of gave me a look. But I think I agree with it. I think I agree with it, that it's, as far as films from the 80s go,
I don't know.
Visually, it's still.
Again, when you compare to films like Star Wars and Alien.
I'm not comparing it to those, though.
Okay, well, but those are other films from the late 70s, early 80s, especially late 70s. So I feel like it is a fair comparison. So when you say, does this hold up? This was not the worst. But I don't think that this was anything spectacular. There's nothing spectacular about this.
I wasn't implying that at all. No. But I don't think any. I'm just going to be quiet.
That's okay. That's okay.
Adina scared me.
No, I'm sorry.
No. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
So we are going to forego the Brian Donahue 5-star rating system.
I think that's why
we're forgoing
because you able to guess our answers.
I'm sorry, but if you didn't watch the movie, you don't get to rate it, because you might have gone. See, so
Steve, I agree with you.
I think forego at this time.
I think that while we certainly could, we are free to do that in the United States, to rate movies we've only seen half of. I think we have really intelligent listeners, and perhaps even a few people that are a fan of this film who would. I just don't want to insult anybody by rating a film I only saw half of. I didn't even see the climax or the ending of. You know what I mean?
Fine.
Like, I just think I think it's a better part of valor to.
Okay, but given that we saw the first half, I am going to say I don't necessarily think anyone should. If you haven't seen this, I don't see any reason to see this.
Okay.
Really? See, I mean, I get that, and if you're like me and gratuitous violence just isn't your thing, like that is one reason not to watch it. But I think if you're a Sean Connery fan and you can put up with all the other stuff we talked about, I think you might get a kick. I think it's possible you could get a kick out of this as a Sean Connery fan and a Peter Boyle fan, And if you like Westerns and you want to see a few outer space shots, go for it.
Well, that's why we leave this to our listeners' decision to watch it or not. It's up to them. But again,
we all have limited time on this planet. Is this how you want to spend your time? Even if you're a deep Sean Connery fan, Sean Connery was in a lot of stuff.
Well, yes,
Like,
absolutely changed.
rewatch one of your favorite Sean Connery movies before you watch
Well,
this.
I'm going to mention a couple myself. So in closing,
sorry.
closing, that's okay. In closing.
Wow.
So,
Steve, will you ever forgive us?
I have no problem. This is fine. And no, again, if there's something like I said about Moonfall, you heard what my thoughts were. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it by saying, so what did you think? Do would you want to give this film a look-see? You might be pleasantly surprised, or you might be like Adina going, thanks, but no thanks. I won't have the octopus for dinner tonight, But, Sean Connery has made some amazing movies. And, the two that come to my mind always, one is Goldfinger, of course, is the ultimate James Bond movie. And the other came out in the early 70s called A Wind and the Lion. And if you haven't seen that movie, it is an absolutely beautiful, epic, broad story about a true Barbary pirate from the turn of the 20th century that Sean Connery plays. He's noble, he's amazing, and there's an amazing love story that develops between him and Candice Bergen that is absolutely fantastic. And Brian Keith plays one of my favorite presidents in the film, Teddy Roosevelt, and it's the interaction between Teddy and the Barbary pirate that is just very good. But this is just a recommendation. This is my recommendation. You can go back and decide for yourself what you'd like to do. But we're just going into our 10th season. This is 4 years of friendship, 4 years of fun, 4 years of agreeing, and 4 years of disagreeing. And you know what? I think that's what makes this so special every week, to get together with Brian, with Adina. I wish Chris was here. I wonder what he thought of it all. And just looking forward to the next 4 years with you folks as well. Not just the next 4 years, however long we can keep doing this. So thank you so much. And as always, I leave you with these parting words. Keep watching the skies and live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the BIG Sci Fi Podcast. We're a proud part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and you can listen to more of our over 150 episodes at trekgeeks.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Until next time, live long and prosper.